Today a great show, I guess, with our friend Darrell also, well, who's become very famous. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yes, we are live on the air also on all my platforms on my side. Probably we are on the air also on your side. We have with us Darrell, who, by the way, was involved with an investigation. He actually was in the Capitol Hill on the 6th of January 2021, and he smoked a big fat joint. So we're going to have also him probably telling us something. What's happening with Dr. Paul Cottrell on the other side, Paul?
Well, I've been pretty busy with school, obviously, but I've been doing some additional research on how the immune system is downregulated through SARS-CoV-2. So, I'll be doing some videos on my channel in the near future, publishing them on Brighteon, going into detail on how it's downregulating B cells and T cells.
I would actually like to have a question for you regarding that, in the sense that we have a new investigation by the UK health authorities. This new investigation regards those who have taken the mRNA vaccine, and the news is not so good. Paul, did you hear about that?
Well, you can give me a little bit more detail and I'll comment on it.
Of course, I will be giving you all the details you want. In the meantime, I want to welcome everybody who has just tuned in Saturday, 23rd of October, 2021, with the Leo Zagami Show and Studio Reykjavik, Paul Cottrell. We have also connected with us Darrell. Darrell, we will talk about Darrell in a second, because of course he might steal the show. mRNA vaccines weaken the immune system even after COVID recovery, according to UK data, which is coming out of the UK Health Security Agency. So I would like Dr. Paul Cottrell, of course, to comment on this peculiarity.
Mm-hmm. I was on Mike Adams' show a few weeks ago mentioning this. It dovetails into the warnings that Dr. Bosch mentioned about how the immune system could be affected by the messenger RNA platform. Dr. Malone also mentioned this. But I have done many videos talking about how the messenger RNA actually shuts down a process inside the cell that is an innate process for antiviral. Not to go into the details, but I'd have to draw it up. But basically, what it does is it basically shuts down the antiviral capability of the virus, of the cell, to detect the virus or to detect the messenger RNA vaccine. See, what happens is the body has an ability to sense foreign DNA or RNA. If it senses that foreign RNA or DNA, it does a whole cascade to actually go into an antiviral function. It's part of the innate immune system. Moderna has published papers, I believe it was either in 2016 or 2017 when they published the paper, but it explains in how they modified the uracil and modified their actual messenger RNA molecule to hide underneath the radar of the innate immune system and shut down the antiviral capability.
What do you think then that the UK health authority is really on the right track here, and why isn't the US authorities following up on such data?
Because I think this is going right in line with there's two pieces to this. If you have a large population that's already questioning the vaccine, and there is scientific data to suggest that there is a shutdown of the innate immune system, the innate, antiviral capability of a cell through the messenger RNA platform, then you're going to have the anti-vaxxers will have more power to say no to the vaccine.
Vaccine researcher Alex Berenson, I don't know if you know about him, said, and I'm quoting him, what the British are saying is they are now finding the vaccine interferes with your body innate ability after infections to produce antibodies against not just the spike protein, but other pieces of the virus. Specifically, vaccinated people don't seem to be producing antibodies to the nucleocapsid protein, the shell of the virus, which are a crucial part of the response in the unvaccinated.
Well, this is what I was mentioning about on Mike Adams' show. Not only does the messenger RNA platform shut down the innate antiviral capability of the cell, what it also does is that it fixes your body to only the S1 epitope, and that you're not priming your priming your body to creating antibodies to other parts of the spike protein or other components of the SARS-CoV-2. Dr.
Polkotred, you have taken the vaccine, not the mRNA vaccine, I think.
That's correct. That's correct. I've taken the Johnson & Johnson.
The Johnson & Johnson. Because of your work, because of your studies, you were forced into the vaccination, but you choose the Johnson & Johnson. The people who have taken the Johnson & Johnson will thereby not have the same problems. If we are following here this study that is focusing...
my take on this is this. Either vaccine, the Johnson & Johnson or the messenger RNA vaccines, will force you to be more hardwired to the S1 epitope, and you won't have as much capability to generate antibodies for other areas of spike protein, or the envelope or the capsid. So there's an envelope and there's a capsid. We're dealing with an envelope type virus. There's naked viruses and there's envelope viruses. We're dealing with an envelope virus for SARS-CoV-2. So when you're only priming your body for the S1 subunit of a spike protein, you're hardwiring your body to just that epitope. This is the reason why natural infection has a tendency to have better broad spectrum antibodies, and that they last longer, and that they're more, quote, efficient, because you're presenting more of the virus in its natural form. But to answer your question now, the difference between the Johnson & Johnson and the messenger RNA is that the Johnson & Johnson doesn't have that shutdown capability that I was telling you about in the innate immune system, because it's not blocking a certain pathway. It's not the messenger RNA platform is designed to block that a certain pathway. It's designed to make sure that it keeps on the elongation factor pathway in a cell. When the cell thinks it's been infected, it'll shut down that pathway and it can no longer create proteins. Then it goes through an apoptosis cascade. The messenger RNA platform from Moderna was designed to
for those who have just tuned in, it's 10 minutes past the hour, wherever you are in the different time zones. We are discussing the fact that the mRNA vaccines weaken immune system even after COVID recovery. And
it's important, and there's two parts to the immune system: the innate immune system and the adaptive. The paper that you're talking about is focused on the adaptive.
Okay, but Dr. Polkotred, the Johnson & Johnson is not an mRNA vaccine. So is that also gonna have the same problem or not?
You're gonna have adaptive problems, not innate.
So problems. It's better to, in theory, following what you're saying, it's better to avoid altogether these vaccines.
Yeah, but the problem is that people are force vaccinated, and that's the issue.
And that's the issue. Okay, so
that's the issue. The issue is that we're force vaccinated and we don't have a choice.
Of course.
And not only that, we have a government that's not telling you, not telling you what the full story is of the virus. It was a weapons program made by the United States military and partially helped by the Chinese. And we have a long-term untested vaccine program to be the antidote to the weapons program.
Paul, we have breaking news instead from another critical part of your life. because it regards Judaism, and a rabbi who is basically coming out. He's a quite well-known rabbi in conservative circles, and he's coming out saying that criticizing George Soros is not anti-Semitic. This is basically, of course, something that came out after there was some criticism over a GOP member that had, of course, criticized George Soros in the specifics of the Republican Virginia governor is actually candidate for the for being governor of I think Virginia. Glenn Youngkin came under fire for attacking George Soros. So the Rabbi Aryeh Spero defended him yesterday, noting that the criticism of Soros was being unfairly labeled as anti-Semitic. And this report was then picked up by the Israel National News reports. So we are talking about news that, of course, is quite fresh, but it concerns, of course, George Soros, which, of course, is a controversial figure, often labeled as himself a Sabbatean Frankist, so not your traditional or average Jew. What's your take, Dr. Paul Cottrell, who, of course, is of Jewish origins, of what's been said here?
Well, full disclosure, I was part of INET, which is his economic think tank. All right. So I met George Soros twice. The first time I met George Soros was actually at Bretton Woods in, I want to say 2010, I think it was. And there was a 2 or 3 day economic conference. And then I also met him in Toronto. So he's he's this, globalist type. He's what we call a transnational capitalist, doesn't care about nation states or the history of nations. His early childhood, he, basically rounded up Jews and, for him to survive. And they basically sent them to the chambers, by rounding them up. He was kind of like a tattletale. I think he was only 12.
A Nazi sympathizer. Nazi sympathizer.
Right. So he was raised in an environment that if you can get away with it, then it's okay. Mm-hmm. And yes, he was born Jewish, but he doesn't represent real Judaism in any fashion whatsoever. And I'm surprised that MI6 hasn't put a bullet in his head, because that guy almost broke the Bank of England, and that's how he made his billions. He was shorting the pound, and it was in free fall back in, I think it's the late 80s, maybe early 90s when this took place. But I have never been a big fan of George Soros. At first, I just viewed him as kind of like this, anti, this kind of like globalist. And when I was younger, when I was like about in 1988, I was kind of like, I was on the path of anti-globalism, and I still am. But, he was like the poster child at that time of that guy that, that evil guy that's pushing globalism. Then when, fast forward to when I was starting to get into my MBA years, in finance, and started trading portfolios, I actually cited him in my dissertation. He wrote a seminal book about how to dissect movements in markets. All right, and he kind of dovetails into chaos theory. Dr. Taleb is much more in chaos theory, but he has George Soros is a very smart guy. All right, but you can be smart and evil. All right. And so when I was reading his literature that he published and how he looked at the movement of markets, I became a little bit more tolerant of him. Not that I loved him at all, but I became more tolerant. But as I distanced myself from INET, because what I found with INET is that everyone was thinking the same way. They're all globalists. They're all they're all these transnational capitalist types. They're all pushing for a new world order agenda. And so I distanced myself away from that kind of organization. But, that's my personal take, with Soros from the Jewish perspective. I think he basically sent people to the gas chamber, and that he should be held accountable for that, for war crimes. What he did as a child is criminal. And then what he's doing now, where he's financing, he's a financer of Black Lives Matter. He's financing a lot of the crazy stuff that's going on around the world.
The open society is at the basis of this unfortunate.
Yeah, but there's more to it. There's the open society and INET.
Yes.
And INET's tied into the UN.
Right.
See, this is what people don't understand. Everyone keeps on focusing on open, the open society stuff.
You have BlackRock.
You've got the intelligentsia is in INET.
Right. Zionists are sitting inside of them.
And I was there. I was in it.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about. All right. All these people are coming out of INET.
Mm-hmm.
And they are one of the plug pieces of the UN on the financial pillar of the New World Order.
They basically all come from this Institute for the New Economic Thinking.
Right, exactly. And you look at everyone that's on there. You look at the big players.
Those are
they're Nobel Prize winners,
mm-hmm.
and they're running the central banks.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Summers. I met Larry Summers 3 times. All right, so you look at all the major economists. They're all plugged into INET. They're all of them. You can easily go to their website and you can see some of the videos that they have or some of the publications, and you'll recognize Stiglitz. You'll recognize, Krugman. You'll recognize them all. Mm-hmm. They're all coming out of INET.
And the question I have behind all of that is, when you talk about George Soros and being a quote unquote I will say globalist. There was a question in the chat that says, who does represent Judaism in the right way? They segregate and separate.
Here's the thing: is that Judaism is somewhat decentralized. It's the way it survived.
Right.
You have a Rebbe or a rabbi that helps you through understanding the Talmud and the proper way of observance, and you grow your family that way. So
basically,
it's very decentralized.
Yeah, you don't have the centralized Pope figure that kind of contains all the others in a hierarchy. There is a more free way of, and so for that reason, everybody is kind of independent. A little bit like in the Orthodox Church to a certain extent, even if you have a patriarch, you have 3 different patriarchs, but a lot of the Orthodox churches are working.
And to dovetail this right into the Soros question, Soros wrote that book that I was mentioning called The Alchemy of Finance.
Oh, I read that.
All right, and he's viewed, all right, by economists and the financial establishment as the oracle, right, the god of finance, right. Mm-hmm. So, so this is the problem that I saw with INET, is that you're starting to see it's becoming a religion. Mm-hmm. The WHO, the UN, the INET, these are becoming kind of like religious institutions or churches, and they have their own priest. So.
But in all this INET word and everything, because I remember an article I read from INET, how corruption is becoming America's operating system. It's like they are leading to this kind of corruption in a way. Then they like to debate it, but they are the ones who are actually encouraging.
Right. They institute it, and then they blame it on, it was the Americans, and therefore we have to bring down and hold America accountable. Okay. And all this. Yeah. No. I'm telling you. And it's a lot of it is coming right out of New York. Because if you look at where the headquarters is for INET, it's right out of New York, right next to the UN.
Of course. But when you have a rabbi, of course, from the conservative side of things, saying basically that criticizing anti-Soros is not anti-Semitic, is basically simply the statement of a faction of the rabbinic world. What do you think the majority of the rabbinic world thinks of George Soros?
I think that
the
rabbinic world that I saw when I was a kid, they are very strict to tradition. They were very strict to Talmud. They're scholars, spend most of their life studying Talmud. They don't make much money. That's all they do with their life, and they need donations to maintain their studies. These types of scholars, almost all of them, would place him in the category as a war criminal because of what he did. Because you're not supposed to send someone else to death to save your own life. If that's the case, you're supposed to die. You're never supposed to bow down, ever. You're supposed to die before you bow down to anything. And two, if you're to kill someone, you're supposed to basically give up your own life to prevent you from killing someone. I mean, it's a little different if you're in a war, if you're in battle. But if someone, said, I want you, to round up someone and they're going to go into a gas chamber, you're supposed to say no. And if it means your own life, then that's what you lose your own life. And then your sins would be absolved. That's how it works. What he did was he said, no, I want to live. And I will let someone else die so I can live. What's the strange thing about this, Leo, and you've written a lot about this kind of world, the metaphysical. What's odd about it is that he in this world is so rewarded. The guy is a multi-billionaire. All right. He has everything he ever wanted. All right. But yet he has caused so much harm in this world at an individual level and at a societal level. Yet he's still rewarded. It just, I'm hoping when he goes to the pearly gates that he has a one-way trip straight to hell.
I was actually picking up from one of my books what I wrote about Soros in regards to a specific demon that some people say he's associated with. If I find it, I will read you about it. By the way, there is another topic, of course, that is important, I guess, for both of us today to discuss, as it is the direct involvement of Darrell, who is, of course, somebody we've been collaborating with now for a while because as you know, apart from this music introduction to the whole thing, it sounds a little bit mainstream.
It's a conspiracy.
Dear Darrell, a lot of people are wondering what's happening here because I've read a couple of articles.
And they all say the same thing.
I must say there were a bunch of articles out there. I read the main ones from the Washington Post and the Independent. And already between the Washington Post and the Independent, I noticed that there were some different versions of the events or even of your own arrest. Now, for those who are just tuning in, Saturday, 23rd of October, 2021, I have with me here Darrell Neely, who is, of course, Darrell, the producer in a way of this show, in the sense that you have always helped us out, and with your radio, the Global Enlightenment Radio Network, you've been always a powerful force. And so what's happening here? Because there's been a lot of discussion. Also, before, of course, you started debating this whole thing, there's been accusations, even internal to your own radio setup, because apparently a couple of people were blamed in a way they have spied,
It's
and
a
they have reported
conspiracy.
you. This is what they say. Then I don't know if it's true or not. What I noticed, though, is that they accused you of a number of things. So we will be debating that today. And I think for both me and Paul, it's very important that we clear this matter up also for all our listeners and for all our viewers. You were one of the 3 black people inside that Capitol Hill that day.
Literally 3. Literally 3 of us in there. Really? Oh, wow. Damn. That's a lot of black people in the Capitol. Let me just start off by saying my man George Soros looks like Darth Sidious. I'm sorry, man. I gotta call it like I see it. And just to let y'all know, yes, I do know Jonathan and his wife Jill. And I did meet Andrea Soros a long time ago. And she at the time I met her, she was cute. Cute as a button. Yeah, so I was letting you know, Paul, I know exactly who you're talking about, in a different light. Andrea was really sweet. Back to the point. The case, well, let's put it this way.
Okay.
Does it even seem like I care?
Daryl, first of all, Paul, of course, you can intervene whenever you want.
Yeah.
When you got arrested by the FBI and what they communicated to you and why they released you and what's happening with your eventual court proceeding.
Okay. I'll see him in 100 days. Yeah, 100 days, everybody. Blow it out your ass. 100 days, I get to go to court. I mean, like, come on. Anybody got any common sense? Where's due process? 100 days. 100 days, everybody. And me and my girl, my best friend, sister, Samantha Goldberg, we're plotting a beautiful, what's the word I should use? A multi-segment show on this topic. Yes, it's been basically the topic has been bought and taken care of. But I can guarantee everybody that this is the joke of the century, and they're pointing fingers because I'm a brother of color. That is media that owns not 1, not 2, getting ready to be 3, 4 radio networks. And I got a group of friends that are around me that are loyal. They don't lie. This is not a conservative radio network. You lied again, FBI. You gonna tell me that I stole a hat? You gonna write? Some people gonna write in the I whipped somebody's butt. I'm about to say ass. Damn, I did say it, didn't I? And I took the stuff from them. Excuse me? I found the hat on the ground on the outside. Who are you going to tell me a story about my life, what I did? Hell, I was walking around with a camera in my hand. 2 fingers for you liars. And the FBI who wants to screw somebody over. You know something? Because of this situation, you're going to see a real beast. I'm going to help out Black Lives Matter. Because they want to tear y'all apart anyway. Defund you. Yes, I'm going to stand by them. I only said I got 25% of what they said to be true. The rest of it's propaganda, hypocrisy, lies, and everything else. But the bottom damn line is, I'm tired of playing with these people. I'm tired of playing with the fake media. I was down there to make sure we have an accurate view of what was going on. I mean, you had all these liberals running around in the Capitol. I bet you they didn't get a congressional pass to walk into the Capitol building. But you want to choose the black man. See, this is where you have your issue, and this is the one problem you have. No, I'm not going to be one of those 6 officers at the Capitol Police Department that, killed themselves, pulled a Clinton. Let me break my shoulder and take the shotgun and put it to the back of my head. I'm not going to be one of them. I'm going to fight you sons of bitches. And I'm going to play. I'm going to play.
Wait. Daryl, so wait. So were you in at the beginning of the rush into the Capitol? Or
I was there at the whole time period from outside taking video footage of everything.
Yeah, when did you actually go into the Capitol?
Oh, around 4.
So
3:34.
So there was already the big rush.
Oh yeah, they opened the doors. You know and I know. We all saw it. The police opened the doors. I got a question for you people. Why didn't I see any Secret Service there?
Did you have film going
Oh yeah, I was filming everything. Everything.
You have that film, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
They got half. They maybe got a quarter of what I really got.
Darrell's image has been all over the media for those who maybe, for those who, of course,
tell them thank you.
Follow much, you know, because you have been busy studying. For those who are journalists, it's been all over the media, and Darrell's image, even with a joint in his hand inside the Capitol Hill smoking.
Oh yeah, they think it's a joint. Motherfuckers, I piss weekly. I have to be a big, strong man. If you want to catch something in my system, we're going to have a problem. Because guess what? You're going to say I was incognitive. Okay. Or I wasn't mentally sound when I did it. So if you want to say I was smoking a joint, you can say what the hell you want. I could piss for you and show I haven't smoked weed in Jesus how long.
Okay, let's synthesize.
Everybody wants to say a black man smokes weed. Everybody wants to say that. What's next? Black man steals? Yeah, you even tried to say a black man steals. Every black man steals. The world out there is a bunch of liars.
Okay,
this is liberalism, brother. Listen, that's the liberal agenda. You know something? I even wrote a little message I was going to say to people when I go on air last week. And I said, you know, I'm going to say this. You know, the original agenda for Black Lives Matter was social change, not this political bull crap that's going through them right now.
Let me ask first of all a question. Were your credentials as a journalist?
Excuse me, I have Time Street Pictures. I'm a journalist for them. I'm also a journalist for my network. I own this network, therefore I'm media, therefore I'm a journalist as well, because I do reporting and I do my own show, and I even have my own blog. Where am I not a journalist?
Got it. So the listeners can have a better understanding.
The listeners can understand I own this shit.
Okay, so did they recognize?
They don't recognize nothing because I'm black.
Okay, so here we have your accusation against.
This is racism, and I'm going after every one of them people that went against me and wanted to say something. I'm going after every single, you can call it a threat, I don't give a damn. I'm going after you. I will see each and every one of y'all in a court of law, and you better have some checks. I got numbers in my head. Numbers beyond belief. Numbers where, ooh, you better shake your toes, and you better make sure Odin don't come out, because those numbers look good. I want to own Valhalla's new gates. I want to open up a new system. I'm going to open a new world. Listen, you think it's fun now? You haven't seen the fun in the end.
Hold on.
A question. There is some discrepancies between...
Discrepancies?
Discrepancies between the dates of your arrest and release.
Oh yeah, they said I was.
Washington Post and in the Independent.
Yeah, they said I got the.
What happened?
Yeah, they said they had a damn warrant from me on the 30th. Come on, Cletus. They know where the hell I was. They even said I was going down there to the FBI. Jimmy, come on, man. Why don't you fess up and tell the truth, bro? I was trying to help you out, man, because I'm a patriot, man. Tell the truth, dog, because you're liars. You're FBI. You're a 3-letter agency. You're liars. You're hypocrites. You're thieves. You're no good. You're dirty. I don't believe in you.
Daryl, it's important that we try to get as many questions through. So
I'm sorry, I'm a little hot, man, because they gonna mess with the black man when everybody else out there, all those lily white reporters out there, were walking inside the Capitol building, and not one of them got arrested.
Daryl, we have a lot to cover, so we have to be focused.
Okay, I'm focused. I just telling the truth. I don't care.
I get it. Okay, so Leo, so there is.
There is some accusations here from the media, which of course I clarified in private with with Daryl, and I would like him to repeat here on air regarding the plates they told Daryl stole from Congress.
Yeah, the 4 dinner plates. My God, what am I doing? Going to feed my family on plates? You think I don't have enough money to go get plates? Y'all got me twisted. Why would I need some damn plates? Hold on. I got an American flag. I got a flag from Trump. That's a huge, big Trump flag. Those are my little souvenirs. What the hell you coming from trying to tell me I need plates now? What's next? Silverware, dinnerware, houseware, clothing? Will you want me to wear Benjamin Franklin's nightgown? Who the hell do y'all think y'all are? You playing with the wrong man. You playing with the black man now. Guess what? I'm asking help from Black Lives Matter. I'm asking help from all these organizations because they went political. They should politicalize your ass. They should have defunded the FBI. They should have defunded these 3-letter agencies. You know something? I'm done playing with these people.
Paul, what do you think about this?
Well, I think that incident on January 6th was a trap.
Well, of course.
And now we have to understand what happened and how it happened. And now I didn't know that Daryl was there. This was like the first I heard of it. I've been studying pretty hard, and I didn't know all this was happening. So it's a little bit of a shocker to me. But the thing is that we have to understand what exactly happened, and if the 3-letter agencies, the CIA, FBI.
Oh, where were they? Where's Secret Service?
No, but
you had the vice president there. Where's he at?
But the point I'm making is that they have a tendency to do overreach, and I'm thinking that they're overreaching their authority on this situation.
Man, you said you a question.
The question is that why do they think that you have plates if it's not in your possession?
Listen, like they say, people that like to lie, they like to get their name in the media. People that want to be famous, well, I'm gonna make them famous. Listen. Okay. I hope you got enough in your pockets because I'm taking every damn thing.
Darryl, just answer the question.
I just answered it. I'm taking everything.
So, are you going into like a grand jury kind of situation?
No, they charged me already. Ain't no grand jury.
Okay, so
I would like to make a specific question to Daryl regarding what we are discussing, and that is pointed out on one of these articles. And of course, this is a way for Daryl.
This is news articles. You know something? I don't believe anything in the media. It's fake.
Okay, but we know that, Daryl, but we need to discuss it because, of course, people would like to know. So here it says on The Independent that a person invited to a video call with you on January 6th told federal investigators that he boasted that he had attacked a U.S. Capitol Police officer and had taken the USCP jacket, badge, name tag, and baseball cap from the officer. Another 2 witnesses who worked with him at Global Enlightenment Radio Network, and I'm quoting here The Independent.
Those probably the sons of bitches that went over to be with my ex, man. I don't give a damn about them. They weak. They're not fighters. They don't believe in loyalty and trust and honor. They don't believe. Listen, every one of my hosts on my network believe in trust, honor, and listen, PSN, yes, honor, trust, C4OC, trust, honor. I mean, come on, KGRA, trust, honor. These are my affiliates. You think I got affiliates for nothing? People that watch out for me for nothing? People that stand beside me for nothing? How many people in networks out there have affiliates that are tight like mine? None. We're family. We're not out here. We are loyal to the cause. The cause is truth, knowledge, and factual evidence. How are you going to tell me my network is a conservative?
Okay.
That's the first issue I have from the beginning of the beat. Listen, we got everything from paranormal all the way down to news with Bill Zagami.
But I don't think sincerely that calling you a conservative radio network is the biggest sin.
Oh, yes, it is. You know why? Because I stand in the middle. I stand on truth, knowledge, factual evidence. Why do y'all think y'all here and being broadcasted? Leo, Paul, you both speak truth. You use knowledge and you bring in factual evidence. It's not about left, right, up, down, down, flipping the biscuits. That's the first issue. If you want me to go through the article step by step, I could tear that article apart sitting here on my own hands.
In fact, that is what we need to do. Dissect these articles and expose the lying media for what they're doing. They are allegedly saying, well, they're saying that you allegedly stolen some items, and you are saying
why the black man got to steal?
Not true. No. I mean, this is not true. According to court documents, it says here on the Independent, the third witness met Mr. Neely on the evening of 6th January and was shown a Capitol Police jacket, badge, name, tag, and baseball cap. He is also was accused of stealing 4 plates with congressional branding on.
Hell, I probably even took license plates knowing them. Hey, there were enough wallets on the ground and car keys on the ground at the mall. I might have stole half that money out of everybody's wallet and credit cards. What do you say, everybody? Let's all look and see if Dale stole some money off your credit cards and the dollars out your wallets that were on the ground.
Okay.
See, so that's the issue you got right there.
Okay.
That's the issue that we all going to have. They're going to say that the black man steals first. They're going to say that the black man is going to be sitting there and he's going to listen. This black man got a mouth. I don't give a damn what you believe and think.
No. Okay, so who constructed these accusations?
Is it written in there?
Huh?
Is it written in the article? They don't even have a name.
Well, of course, there is a written who wrote the article. In this case, the Independent, the journalist in question is, if you want, I can.
Are they liberal?
The name of this journalist. Let's see if I can scroll it.
Let's get the journalist on. Hell, nobody tried to contact me.
The journalist is Gino Spock.
Gino, how about this? I know you're probably listening to the show because I know you're a weak-ass motherfucker. Why don't you bring your ass on the show? Let's have this discussion straight up and figure out how the hell you coming up with some information that even Jesus didn't even get a chance to see. Moses didn't even walk across the desert for, and I'm a smiter.
Okay, so Gino Spocchia, 4 days ago, wrote down these lies. But who gave them these lies?
It's some contrived bull crap made by the FBI to make people feel good because they're getting somebody from the Capitol so that Congress won't probably pull their funding from it. I don't give a damn. I'm out here to fight. Listen, I'm sorry, people. I might have to go that route, man. I might have to go Black Power or something, man. I don't know. Because this is become interesting to me. I mean, if I had the chance to really speak the truth to people, bottom line, it's going to hurt feelings.
Here, okay. Going back to...
Why didn't they arrest me the first day? They said I was there 3 times, right? Why didn't you arrest me the first damn day? How about the second time? Well, god dang, man.
I always knew you went to inside the Capitol, and I always thought, okay, maybe he didn't really got that involved, and so they are not going after him. Now, that doesn't seem to be the case, but they haven't really arrested you and put you in solitary confinement like my former colleague,
the Proud Boys,
or with some other members of the Proud Boys.
No, they want to torture the black man. This is fucking psychological torture, people. I don't know what to do. Listen, I am going to have to call Al Sharpton.
Oh, well, that will be a good exchange.
I'm going to call Al Sharpton. Listen, I got his number. I'm going to call him today because my mama.
The FBI, the Washington Post says that the FBI became aware of your activities on January 9th when investigators received a tip from someone claiming Neely had entered the building. Now,
hold on. What day was that?
That was on the 9th of
Okay, hold on. Didn't everybody know I entered the building on the 6th? Because, daggone it, I was broadcasting live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on LinkedIn, live on OKRU, live on D Live, live. Do I have to keep naming all the locations I broadcast to?
Okay.
So hold on. Well, you didn't have to let them know on the 9th. You didn't have to. Listen, you should have just gone ahead and put the rope around your neck, because I'm coming after every one of y'all. Y'all going to issue up some money. I'm gonna show you how you break a person. I mean, that is the right I'm breaking a person. I'm going after you. I'm going after your pockets. I'm going after your mama's pockets, your daddy's pockets. I'm calling Al Sharpton. I'm calling Jesse Jackson. I'm calling all of them, because guess what? We're going to get the Rainbow Coalition on y'all. Shoot, I might call my friends at the LGBTQ WSYZ.
Okay, so let me go back to this specific point here. On January the 9th, basically, they received a tip. Did you now, after all this time, understood who tipped the FBI?
Tipped? Man, I'm going to tell you something, brother. Leo, you the best man I know for getting down to the core of shit. And I'm going to be honest with you, brother. They didn't put it in the paper, so how do I know? And next thing of all, I mean, I don't have no lawyer. I don't have no representation. I ain't got nobody got my back. I need Black Lives Matter.
Okay. Now, this week, and we have to, of course.
I need a cigarette. Hold on. I bet they're gonna say I'm smoking damn weed on your show.
Daryl. Because you are in, you're in a serious situation.
I must.
And no, wait. Let me finish. You're in a serious situation, and it's important to inform the public on your perspective of what happened.
Do you believe public opinion counts?
And wait, let me finish. And that, and the thing is that through that dialogue, the public will have a better idea to understand what's really going on. Because when I read the article, there's a lot of holes.
There's more holes than a damn. There's more holes than a fishnet.
Yelling on our own show isn't helping.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. I'm sorry, my mic was loud.
So Leo is trying to fill in the gaps that people would have when reading the article.
You know something?
That's important to understand what's going on.
I'm a little hot.
Now, I personally believe that the FBI and the CIA are out of control.
Where's Homeland Security? Y'all keep missing the pictures. Y'all missing the whole situation at the Capitol. Everybody's missing it. You had the Vice President there, Pence. He's going to be the man that decides whether the votes in the election counted or not, right? He's the Vice President. Who does he walk with? Secret Service. Secret Service. Right. Hold on. Stop that period. I lived over there in Northwest, right over there on Nebraska Avenue. I'm like 3 blocks from Secret Service. Three blocks. Not Secret Service, Homeland Security. I didn't see one Homeland Security car heading towards the Capitol, and they weren't there. I didn't see uniformed Secret Service. They weren't there. Now, stop. At that point, you know something's wrong with the whole situation. You got the Vice President. Where's Secret Service? You got the Capitol Police. You got D.C. Police. Where was the FBI? Where's Homeland Security to help guard the situation? Why is it that the Pelosi and the mayor of D.C. did not enact the National Guard that day? There was a plan. And it was a plan that was going to be screw this country. And I wanted to bear witness and have it on video what was going on. Because I know with all the cameras and all the people reporting down there that day, and all the video footage that was down there that day, that there was going to be enough eyes to catch something. Well, guess what, people? I caught something walking around. It's called, where was Secret Service? Where was Homeland Security? They're the oversight for who? All federal buildings. Don't say, well, that was Capitol. No, Capitol Police did not fall under Homeland Security.
I would like to point out that okay, you are right, and we've been discussing these things for months since what happened on the.
But no one's mentioned it.
And I want to make a preface to all this. I mean, I was the one that at the end of December 2020 on the last day, I think, of December 2020, went on InfoWars and said, please, it's not like you think. It's dangerous to go there. And I actually openly said that to most people connected to me, don't go to Washington on the 6th of January because it's a trap. Of course, you didn't listen to me. You're all free to do whatever you want. You did it. Owen Schroyer did it. He's in big trouble now. Alex Jones, of course, did it. He didn't go inside the Capitol, though seems to be less maybe off the hook from that. But I want to go back to the fact that you went there, and of course you went inside the Capitol, but there seems to be here a very much confusion around what you have done, and all these accusations come from people internal to the Global Enlightenment Radio Network.
They were not my employees. They were not my. Nobody's an employee of Global. Global is a nonprofit. But I must say they were attached to it at the time. But you know something? There are a lot of people that were on it at the time, even as of recently. I had to get rid of, I mean, I didn't personally have to. I have my own sheriff for the Global Enlightenment Radio Network that gets rid of people. But like I said, there are people that are weak. They're not good hosts. They're not good information resources to give people, and
what kind
they gotta go.
Of accusations are you facing, Daryl? What kind? I mean, you have to go to court in 100 days, but what kind of accusations?
100 days. Think about that. In 100 days, the world can change. But yeah, what kind of accusations? I don't know. Honestly, that is the furthest thing from my mind. I'm still on the case. They must have
told, yeah, but for them to tell you, you have to appear to court. They must be telling you by law what those charges are.
Oh, they've already told me the charges. They're written in the document. I don't care about them. I'm on the case.
You should start caring.
You know why? Because I know it's BS. The bottom line is I was on a case. I was trying to figure out who gave the order for Homeland Security not to be there.
Now,
that's a legitimate question.
The question that's the core to it. Now, we know that the Senate oversights Homeland Security. We all know this, but who gave the order to the Senate to say, you know something, we don't need Homeland Security and we don't need National Guard? Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of D.C. know that they said, no, we don't need National Guard at the Capitol. Excuse me? This is the capital of the United States of America. I am on a case, and they want to stop me no matter what it takes. They throw charges at me. They probably throw a brick wall at me. They might even throw some mystical beast at me. I don't care. Well, they use voodoo and stuff inside the...
When did they charge you?
That's what I want to know.
No, what day did they reach out and say...
The official day was Monday when I walked in. They reached out to me, actually it was the 30th. Oh yeah, I mean 28th.
The 30th of January?
Yeah, 30th of January. Yeah, that was the official day that I went into, listen to the words, walked into the FBI, and I was talking to them, they were talking to me, and we had some exchange of communication, and I said, you know something, I'm a proud American, I want to help, and I want to get the answer to my questions as well as your investigation. No, they just interested in bodies. They don't want to know how this incident became alive.
No, this is an important piece. What you just said is an important piece.
Yes,
they didn't come and get to you. You went to them to give information, and then they're flipping it around to prosecute you.
Yeah, you know something?
That's what happened.
How do you trust those three-letter agencies? I'm going to tell you, like I told everybody else, if a three-letter agency comes at you, tell them to give them the finger.
Daryl, because people, when they listen, sometimes it goes over their head and they have to be reminded. For the ones that are listening and for the replay here, Daryl went to the FBI and was giving information.
And gave them my video.
They used it against. It sounds like they used it against.
They used how to use it against me. Well, they tried because they don't have all the video. I'll tell them straight up right now. You don't have a quarter of what video I have, and you will never get it. Never.
But think here. All right. So you have a lawyer, I'm assuming.
No, I ain't got no lawyer. I don't need one for this one. This is gonna be a walk in the park.
You
That's why I said I'm getting Black Lives Matter, Hastings. I'm getting Al Sharpton. I'm going to go even make a phone call to. I'm calling any of those people to help me out for this situation. I don't need people to say that the FBI was right. No, you're liars. FBI lied to me from the beginning.
Terrell, here's the reality of the situation. They're going to view all protesters by default, all protesters there, even if they were media that, breached the Capitol, as Trump supporters. And Al Sharpton is not a Trump supporter, even though he's black. So just because you're black doesn't mean Al Sharpton is going to be helping you.
Well, hell, you know that Al Sharpton walked away.
A Trump supporter.
I'm labeled. I am labeled. Hey, guess what, people? Black man labeled again.
You're an endangered species because you're a person that supported Trump and you were part of the media.
And look what they got now. They got the Walking Dead as a president of the United States that's screwing up everything. We're gonna have shortages because of this since this one incident. And why was it?
Yeah, but Derek, what did you say? I don't know if you can say this or not on air, but if you can say it, what did you say to the FBI when you went in?
I have lots of video of when I was there in the Capitol. So the first day I said I was there and I was reporting what was there. And I even wrote a blog about what was happening there.
So when you said that, what was the officer's questions?
Nothing. He was sitting there like, could you tell me what you saw? Did you see this guy with the horns on? And he showed me the picture of him. And the guy that sat in the desk of Pelosi, you know him. I mean, not the one at the desk of Pelosi, the one that was sat in the Senate chair. Yeah. I mean, listen, you had a bunch of people there that looked like, to be honest, it was Comic-Con. It was Comic-Con at the Capitol.
But you were trying to comply and help their investigation.
Yes, I was, and they want to screw me raw. And
now, all right. So now let's take one step further. Now, what exactly is triggering them to go after you when you helped them on the 28th of January?
Because they're liars, they're hypocrites, they're a three-letter agency, they're not American, they have their own agendas and initiatives. This is not what, listen, the reason why I didn't want to hop on this with Leo, because Leo didn't...
Regarding this whole charges and stuff. You received the charges, it says on the Independent, on the 30th of September.
No, I didn't.
Okay. So you went, now you said though to Paul that you instead went already back in January to see the FBI, or am I getting it wrong?
I didn't get no charges on the 30th of September. Listen to me carefully, people. I want you to have an understanding. You had a subpoena for me.
I'm just reading what they
Yeah, that's what they say. The Independent's a damn piece of lying trash. Listen to me, people. Let me help you out, okay? If I got subpoenaed or whatever to go to court, correct? And or they had a file for me to be charged with a crime on the 30th of September. Why the hell did it take to the 18th of October? I wasn't hard to be found, was I? Hey, anybody out there, do you see me on radio?
Paul I'm sure he will agree. We need a little bit of clarity here. So the charges on the 30th of September, and then they eventually reach you much later. And you are saying, of course, I was available. They could have reached me at any time.
Man, they could have come to the house. They know where I live. They knew. Listen, the man knew my telephone number. Me and that guy Jim, we wrote emails to each other often. We talked all the time. I called him on the phone. He called me just to check up on me, see how I was doing. We both talked to each other often. How the hell you gonna tell me that I couldn't be found?
Okay.
That was my buddy, man. He was former Navy, man. That's shipmate, man. Okay. We don't screw each other over like that.
Okay.
We tell the truth.
Let's rewind to the beginning of the year. You actually, after the events of the 6th of January in Capitol Hill, went to the FBI voluntarily to simply say, I was there, participant as with my media. Yeah, you went there to the FBI before they came to you.
Bingo.
Huh?
Bingo.
When was that? You said again?
Bingo. That was the 30th of the month, or 30th of January.
Okay, perfect. From the 30th of January to the 30th of September, kind of a strange coincidence, which is exactly to the day, they then say they charged you, of course, with a big delay. Suddenly,
big delay? That was driving down the street. That man could have flown out the country by now. There ain't no delay. That's called. I could have left the country, gone to Cuba, sat in Venezuela, smoked pipes with Manuel Cornejo, and had a good time.
Okay. At this point, Paul, what do you think about this these months of delay? I mean,
yeah, I find it very odd. I find it very, very odd. The thing here is what's strange here is you reached out to help their investigation, and they're coming back for some reason, I'm not sure why, to go after you when you were trying to help them.
Well, hold on, let's make it worse.
Now, and they spin it as if you stole stuff.
Hold on.
Now,
but also another thing, you say you are in constant communication with the FBI.
You want his telephone number? I got his phone number. I'll give it to you right now. I know it off the top of my head.
But what I would like to know is why were you in contact? Because some people will then suddenly say, is he an informant? Because it was full of infiltrators, of people who were actually working for the other side on that day. You know that.
Man, I had a trip, man. I was sitting there watching the Comic-Con superstars walk through that place. I mean, Comic-Con. Man, homeboys walking through with no shirt on, with helmet on. One homeboy got a beard down to his chest and with a staff. A couple of people walked in like damn Space Ghost and Quick Draw McGraw. Paul, I can't say it no more, man. It looked like Marvel comic superheroes walking through the Capitol. You had Hillbilly Jim with the suspenders on, carrying the American flag like the Beverly Hillbillies, walking in the circles, protest. And you know something? My question is, what were they really protesting for?
Yeah, well, we could discuss this another time. But at the moment, we are mostly focused on your.
Yeah, but I mean, those are. But see, that's my investigation.
Yeah, no.
That's why they came after me. Hold on, it's all about me.
That you realized that the 6th of January was a trap, and
I knew it was a trap from the beginning.
So you went there willingly, knowing it was a trap.
Hey, I'm an American. I sacrificed myself for my fellow Americans.
And within
I can understand why he did it.
I'm a
because
CB.
He's a journalist, and right, he's a journalist, and he was trying to document what's going on to our constitutional freedoms. I mean, really, there was a coup. I personally think there was a coup that took place.
It was a coup, a time shifting coup.
And the thing is that George Washington was classified as a terrorist by the king. All right, during the revolution, so everyone that was in that mall, especially the ones that went into the Capitol, they're considered quote terrorists by the government.
Ain't that funny?
Doesn't mean they are. That doesn't mean they are. It's just they're classified as.
But they didn't classify me as a terrorist.
No. But the thing is, they're dialing it. We need to dial it back and understand what the facts are. My take on this is that they spread the net even wider over those 6 months to try to punish individuals that were supporting Trump and to lay a foundation for the next election that anyone that rises up to try to support Trump that will slap you down.
We don't hate him.
This is about I think this is really about intimidation. When you boil it all down, I think that it's the government intimidating Daryl. Now the question is, and I'm assuming you don't have anything in your possession.
Empire Strikes
from the Capitol, from the inside of the Capitol.
Bro, there's nothing I have from that Capitol.
So the comments that are mentioned in the
they're lies.
It's the independent. Right. So it's so
and the hat I found on the ground. Come on, people. I even had the hat in one of my videos. I was walking around, I tilted it down. It's in one of my videos. You know something, FBI? You can shove that out your ass.
Which hat are we talking about?
That little FBI secret, what is it called? The Capitol Police hat. Hell, if it's on the ground, is it stolen? Because guess what, SOBs? You find money on the ground, that's legal United States tender. Guess what? The FBI can come get you too. Think about that.
Daryl, but going back to what we discussed at the beginning of this whole debate on this week's events, because you have been part of this week's news, so of course you became part of today's show.
Yeah, I want to thank the 1.6 million new listeners that we've got on this network. I want to thank them, and this is the time y'all can sit back and listen. Like my man Gary the Man Mark said, pack them and smoke, because you're sure going to need one for this one. Okay, there's too much information out there that need to be answered. Y'all have been after us.
We arrived to the conclusion that Daryl doesn't like to be defined as a conservative. Otherwise, he goes ballistic. Worse than they told him he's. I mean, they could have told you maybe you were a pedophile. Would have been better.
What? Pedophiles? The Roman Catholic Church?
Like,
we can talk about them too.
No, but aside from that. You know that there was here a specific accusation made by somebody who was quoted by the Independent saying that you boasted that he had attacked the U.S. Capitol police officer.
And where is that evidence? There's video all up and down that Capitol. Show me the damn evidence.
No. But here I go back to the fact that these people are lying. So of course you should do a counter lawsuit against this.
Only when the case is complete. When the case is done.
That have taken on the information provided by these crooks, by these people, because it's false. Here they're saying that you stole the US CP jacket, badge, name tag, and baseball cap from the officer. Then you tell me the baseball cap was found on the ground. You didn't steal any jacket, badge, name tag, blah, blah, blah.
This is the American flag I found. I mean, a lot of people are passing things around out there. American flag, the big, huge Trump banner that was out there. I got one of them too. They were passing them around. What, I steal them too? Why you gotta say the black man steals? That's what you people love to do. You're just a bunch of racists, hypocrites, liars.
In fact, you need to prepare a counter lawsuit, and at the same time, I mean, these things are very, I mean, they are accusations, they are vile accusations. These are not small accusations.
All right, so, I would get a lawyer and I'd be suing.
No. I have to wait till the court is done.
Every single person that I could get my hands on.
I'm a sue the dog. I'm a sue their dog.
The thing is that when you start doing counter lawsuits, then they start backing off, because when you start suing, you can, and you're going down this road, you're starting to open up, with discovery, and you can start asking questions about really important things like why, was the security lapsed at the Congress, during January 6th at certain times. Why? You can start asking really pertinent information that is directly tied to your investigation, your original investigation of why you were there. See, you got to be smart about this, Daryl. And being smart is preparing a very strong defense and preparing a very strong offense.
Oh, listen, brother.
And I'll tell you, you need to start suing everybody.
Bro, do you know how many people there are on that list?
That's the Independent. Mm-hmm. Anyone that made false accusations.
Even the Washington Post.
The Washington Post. Dude, if you play this right, you're going to be worth about $150 million.
Did you say that again? Black man make money?
About $150 million.
Hold on, did you say black man make money? I don't have to struggle. I don't have to go pick corn and cotton and strawberries and deal with you sons of bitches out there that want to lie on the black man. I'm coming after all y'all.
Daryl.
Another journalist, Jesslyn Pazer from the Washington Post. Then you have that other guy, Spock, from the Independent. And these are only two of the articles which I actually investigate. There is many others that came out in the last few days regarding what happened to you. You told me actually that the Hollywood Reporter was interviewing you.
Yes, I'm good with them. They're not gonna listen. That's my girl Samantha Goldberg. That's my sister. That's my one true friend. That's my partner. That's my buddy. I mean, I've known Sam for so long, and me and her, we've been straight up forever. She's the one that was the celebrity wedding planner. She's been a talk show host. She was a host with me when we were at L&M Radio Network. We've done a lot of work together. She's Hollywood. She did the red carpet. And interviewed on the red carpet for Hollywood. Yes, people, me and my girl Samantha Goldberg are going to be doing a little mini-series on this thing, and, you know, we're thinking about doing some other things. I mean, Samantha Goldberg is part of the Global Enlightenment Radio Network. Oh, yeah, it's a conservative network. You know something? That still gets on my nerves. But I'm going to hold off on that because, you know, I'm getting a little pissed because I cannot believe that people will run their mouths and not think that the empire will not strike back.
So you think, Daryl, that in a way...
And I hope Soros supports me.
No. I mean, I want to make a specific question here because you brought up Alan Sharpton, you bring up Black Lives Matter. You really think that this
was government. Let me tell you something.
The African American who has been unfortunately brainwashed in their plantation ghettos for a century, unfortunately has been molded in this twisted reality to believe that the Democrats really care about them. You think that they will support you who went inside the Capitol and smoked a big fat spliff?
Oh, I wish I did smoke a spiff right now, but I didn't. See, people, y'all got to understand something. I could piss any day of the week for anybody, and I piss clean.
No, but that's...
I never smoked a spiff. If I listen...
You think Alan Sharpton will come in your defense? Just a clean question.
Yes, you know why? Because Al Sharpton helped support my mother when she was fighting against the Central Intelligence Agency. But the problem with Al Sharpton then and Al Sharpton now is Al Sharpton now, I'm sorry, bro, I got to say it honestly. We were in tax problems. How did that wipe out? Why didn't the FBI get you?
Well, of course, Alan Sharpton was an informer for the FBI for a long time, though. So, I mean, you know that. So, I mean, he has like...
But see, I got to say something. He can redeem himself.
Yeah.
That's the thing about... That's the thing about being an American. You can mess up and you can redeem yourself by standing on your square. You can redeem yourself by being a man or a woman. You can redeem yourself by what's inside, not what everybody thinks you are. Now, I even implore the great Dark Emperor himself, Mr. George Soros, to put his eyes on this and put his loving hands upon this situation.
Loving hands upon this situation.
Listen, George, you want them done. Listen, George. Listen, brother, you want them done. No, forget, I'm not talking to George. Jonathan, my buddy, you know me and you, we knew each other years ago. Jonathan Soros, you know, we know each other. Jennifer, your lovely wife.
This is a private message for George Soros from that.
Yes. You know, we were friends, me and Jonathan, you know, back in the day. I mean, you know, he's 51, I'm 51, both born 1970. You know the deal. We got friendship going back. I implore you to ask your father for supporting this because, you know, I'm at the point now where I want to smite these government agencies. I think George Soros... Operation Clean Sweep would be wonderful for all the U.S. government three-letter agencies.
Daryl, sorry, but the problem is that George Soros is the one who is encouraging all this.
But he's not encouraging these three-letter agencies going crazy. That's them. These are orders being given inside our United States Capitol. Listen, the girl that got shot in the Capitol, okay? The glass that she was going through. Did anybody take note that her, excuse me, everybody, I'm going to say, her big-ass body wasn't going through that glass? that piece of the door, her body was not going through that small little piece of door. That glass that was broken. So let's think about this. So they shot her. Why? I feel sorry you shot an American that was unarmed and you're a police officer. But hold on, you're not one of the officers of one of the 6 officers that committed suicide at the Capitol. Let's go back again. I'm going to say it again, people. 6 Capitol police officers committed suicide. What did they know?
Wait, when did they commit suicide? The day of?
This is actually...
The day of, January 6th?
No.
After January 6th.
In the months and days after that event. I mean, the weeks,
wow.
Months after that.
Wow. And what's your take, Leo? Are you thinking that they really did commit suicide, or do you think it was homicide?
Well, I mean, of course, we can make speculations, but in this case, I would say that there was definitely the full support of the Capitol Police for Nancy Pelosi. There were people leading the Capitol Police in that day that were involved with Black Lives Matter. We saw their photos, their involvement in the marches. So politically involved with Black Lives Matter. And so it's a little bit difficult to say what really happened with these individuals, if they really had some psychological problems because of how America is divided today, or if they maybe saw things they were not supposed to say and they were taken out. But that would be a little bit of a far-fetched conspiracy theory today.
Yeah, that's far-fetched, but hold on. We got 2 DC officers that died. We got 2 DC officers that committed suicide. Come on, people. Think about this. Where's the FBI agents that commit suicide? Okay, stop. Where's Homeland Security committing suicide? Hold on. Let's try one more.
Okay, let me ask a question.
What about the Secret Service guys protecting the vice president? Did they commit suicide?
No, Daryl, let me ask you a question, a very clear question here. So you think these were suicides, or they were pushed to suicide themselves? They were suicided.
They were Clintonized. Let's call it what it is. Clintonized.
You think that is the case? Do you have that feeling?
This is what I was investigating. Why are so many people committing suicide? Listen, I was a CB. I was in war. We lost our camp.
I mean,
where are the soldiers that commit suicide over losing their base area?
Okay, I would like to ask you, Daryl. The thing here is, do you think that the Capitol Police officers involved in what was, of course, this so-called insurrection, which for me it was a joke, and you also confirmed it was pretty much a joke. But do you think they were really traumatized that day? There were policemen that were really traumatized.
Listen, if these were street cops, most of the people in Capitol Police were former military. So you know you've seen some action.
So it's impossible that they can become so depressed and act like little sissy boys and then take their lives.
Put it this way, I ate Roman noodles over a person's dead body. Now you're going to tell me that these people are going to sit there and commit suicide over, hold on, nobody died but one person that got shot and was inside the Capitol? But hold on, stop. Let's try it again. You're former military. You've been in the service of the Capitol Police for years. You've either been a street cop before that and transferred to Capitol Police, or you were a DC police officer and you've seen more shit than that on the street. But you're gonna tell me I was so traumatized I didn't get my hot cocoa and marshmallows, so I might need to see a psychiatrist. Oh no, I can't do it. I'm gonna kill myself.
I mean, it seemed pretty clear from the testimonies they gave and the people who gave those testimonies that most of them were politically motivated in front of the commission that
exactly
matter, not
you know. And I'd like to just add to that, Leo. You know, I totally agree with you. And there was a similar behavior with Miley, the general.
Yep.
There's this complicitness of
And that's treason.
And they're filing almost like a controlled demolition. It's really strange. There's no accountability, and there is this almost like wokeism that has permeated the military and the Secret Service, or agencies like the police, around the Capitol. That just seems as though there's no accountability. If something goes wrong, that they have a tendency to just kind of break down emotionally. And some of it, I think, is faked. When they were during the congressional hearing, I think that was a little bit staged. It seems staged. It looks staged. When you look at someone when they're talking, especially in a high-profile environment like that, you can kind of tell who's staging it and who's not. I think that was a bit staged. So there's something fundamentally going on with our police force and our military. I saw similar behaviors with Miley. It was kind of like this
I mean, not only stage, we had the head of one of the FBI sections, I don't know which, in which town, that actually warned, I think, Nancy Pelosi. There was a warning that was issued. Nancy Pelosi knew what was about to happen, and still nothing. Right. So I mean, it's pretty obvious that here's the problem that I see with January 6th. It was a trap, for sure. Okay, but the thing is that instead of focusing on the real reason why people were there protesting, which was illegitimate certification of votes at the state level. Yeah, and I mean that was,
the wisdom, right? But the thing is that the Senate is considered the wise body. All right, and the wise men and women in the Senate should have been wise to say, you know what, it won't hurt to get a little bit more certification at the state level for another 14 days. It wouldn't hurt anything. Let's just make sure we cross the T's and dot the I's. All right, that would have been the wise thing to do. Correct. And there wouldn't have been an insurrection.
Well, hold on, I got a question.
What is called an insurrection. So I put the blame not on the individuals so much that went into the Capitol, and people that did go into the Capitol, they shouldn't have. But what was the real catalyst?
That's the people's house.
What was the catalyst? The catalyst was you had a government not listening to the people when there was adequate evidence to suggest that the certification was awry, and that we needed a little bit more time to make sure that it was audited properly, certified, and then given to the Senate for their stamp of approval. That's not what happened. Our government, our representative government, actually created January 6th. It was a trap. Now we have the media. Spinning it in such a way, and these prosecutions that are taking place, spinning it in such a way, it's the fault of people like Daryl, or the fault of people like Proud Boys, or the Oath Keepers, why January 6th happened. No. Who went through the doors were the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys who caused the incident was the government.
But most of those Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, 3%ers and whatnot that went into the Capitol Hill were also FBI informants. Let's be very clear about that. Yes. There was a direct involvement, and I guess that people like Darren know that very well. And that is probably one of the reasons why they want to silence him.
I call it out. He's telling the truth.
No, that's a good point.
He's telling the truth.
Point that you're making. And that's a good point that you're making.
But we have one issue, though. We have an issue that no one's actually thinking about. If you're on top of the mountain and you and the president both got their crowns on, why wouldn't you want to keep your crown? I mean, think about it literally. Why wouldn't you want to stay president and vice president of the United States? I mean, why? No, because no one's picturing this other side of the story. When Pence refused to denounce the election, okay, I want you to think a little bit. You're on top of the mountain. You are the champion. You got the belt around your waist. And you're going to tell me you're going to give up your title to walk off into nothingness? No, I think somebody had something on Pence.
No, he was going to get this.
Somebody had
the same thing with the Sanders.
There's stories about him out there.
Step away for Hillary, and then he was going to make a ton of money.
But no,
same thing with Pence.
Do you notice the gold coins?
Make money.
The gold coins that they gave Pence at the end. You saw the handoff. I got video of that. Also, but here's the statement: we already knew what stories of Pence being a little, wild man out there under the cover. You know what I mean? Wearing the S&M outfit, you know what I mean? With little women. Just be honest, okay? He's a man, okay? I'm sorry if you think I think it's wrong that he wears S&M or he's a sodomist or whatever. Listen.
But Darrell, there is some new news that is just came out a few hours ago, 5 hours ago to be exact, on MSN News. They are claiming that ahead of January 6th, the Villard Hotel in downtown DC became a Trump team command center for effort to deny Biden the presidency. Do you ever had the feeling in this January 6th rally that there was some kind of Trump directive going on?
No.
Or it was really an anti-Trump directive?
Actually, listen, to be honest, you look at it from hindsight, you see what it really was. It was a directive to make sure Biden becomes president. They have a reason to push Trump out the picture. Okay? Sorry, people. Biden is the worst thing that we've ever had in our life as president, and I got 51 years of it. I mean, this man cannot hold a conversation with a fruit fly.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, if you don't know this, and I know a lot of people that voted for this idiot. I'm being nice. This man that's a walking mental vegetable. Those people that vote are regretting it, and the American public is regretting this. I mean, honestly, people should be committing suicide from the fact that they voted for this son of a bitch.
Well,
not just sitting at the Capitol. This is the difference. You should have been doing it for your judgment. Now, as we talked about the Capitol, the police opened the gates, the police opened the door. There was no trespassing for any of those people that went in there, because the door was opened by an official. Am I right or wrong? Come on in. It's just like you walking down the street and you bend over and pull your pants down and say, come on and get some. That's an open invitation. If the guy goes and does it, it ain't rape, because you invited it. They opened the door to the Capitol to walk inside. How are you going to say people trespassed? That case right there should have been stripped for all those people that have been charged and in jail, because the door was open. No one broke in.
Here's the problem, Daryl, is you're assuming that the judicial system is not captured. It is
captured.
Right, and that's why you have to have a very strong defense and offense, because it's captured.
That's why I'm calling on Jonathan Soros.
They're not going to use. You can't use logic over in the realm that you're in now. You know, I understand where you're coming from.
This is the bizarre world.
Not only that. I think our country, there was a coup, and that it was the obligation of the citizens to prevent the coup from happening. It wasn't that the citizens were creating a coup. The citizens were trying to stop a coup. That's
I mean, in the end, now we have a president who basically goes in front of some kind of town hall and just stands like this.
We have an illegitimate president making.
Well, no, but not only illegitimate. The guy is kind of like, he has some serious problems. What does it mean standing like this for a minute?
Well, I mean, he's
is he driving a car?
No.
He's stuck. He's stuck. I mean, there's a glitch.
He has to kind of decline. I mean, my father, unfortunately, he's 78, and he he has ischemic dementia.
Same as my aunt.
He's in the late state. He's in the later stages of this.
Same as my aunt.
He's not there. He's not there. So I just Biden has severe cognitive decline, and it's going to get worse. I don't know if it's ischemic, if he has ischemic dementia that's going on, if it's Alzheimer's, if it's, a complication to his aneurysms, the surgeries that he had. I believe he had 2 of them. So, in the 80s. So, there's definitely some sort of cognitive decline. And I don't believe that he should be president, and that the 25th
amendment clause.
The clause, should be invoked.
The whole of America is saying basically, fuck Joe Biden, let's go Brandon.
I don't understand this term. I don't get
let's
it.
go Brandon. It's about basically there was this. I think it was NASDAQ. I mean, it was one of these car races. There was a guy who won the race called Brandon, and while he was being interviewed in front of the cameras, the people behind were chanting "Fuck Joe Biden." But he and the guy on the TV thought they were actually talking about him. They were saying, "Let's go Brandon." So the guy at the TV station said, "Wow, let's go Brandon. Let's go Brandon." Yeah, fuck Joe Biden.
Fuck Joe Biden.
Okay, I get it.
It became the national thing. And then, of course, you have now people like the conservative rapper Bryson Gray, who did...
he was the one on Truck, yeah.
Let's go Brandon. I can withdraw my gun, cannon. Let's go Brandon.
Yeah.
And so, but
I need that brother on this show.
Because they have basically blocked it and removed it from YouTube. There is no other versions of Let's Go Brandon from other artists, equally pretty strong, that seem to still be on the YouTube.
I was looking at my weed.
So what we're starting to see is that same same pushback on Trump early on in his presidency. You had a lot of people saying fuck Trump. Well, the thing is that the same thing's happening to Biden.
Worse.
That there's a crowd out there that's going against it.
I think much worse, and it's actually maybe.
Well, you have that also the cognitive
but it seems
decline.
to me that the ghetto, especially the black vote, the African Americans are waking up to this. And it's
if you're
becoming
black,
very
you're voting for
fashionable
Biden.
In ghetto America to wear MAGA hats. And I guess that Trump always fascinated that side of society because, of course, he represents the billionaire, the guy who has achieved everything. But now he seems to have achieved a new status. Isn't that the case, Daryl?
Yes, he has. Trump is now happily welcomed amongst the peoples because he at least knew what the hell he was doing. Listen, the statement, I'm going to make it simple, okay? And I'm going to make it as simple as possible. You got the left and the right. You got the liberals and the conservatives, okay? I'm neither liberal nor conservative. I'm right down the middle. So if you want to say something about me and my network again, you're going to get somebody going to get the taste smacked way out their mouth. The bottom line is this. The liberals look for to help the people, but they forget that the government actually functions as a vessel that is of corporate status that functions to support the people. The conservatives are the corporations and the people that are holding on to tradition, status, and whatever. They are helping the business and which supports the people. The problem that you have is there's also that middle ground where you got those people that are philanthropists that are helping both sides. Well, if you want to say you're a liberal, you're helping the people, you're forgetting the country. You're forgetting the entity that you live in. You're helping people, but you're forgetting the entity that supports the people, that keeps the inflation down, that keeps the gas prices down, keeps everything down. If you're a conservative, you're using the corporation status or the business, US.gov, whatever, and you are supporting the people by quote unquote, as Reagan would say, the trickle down theory. Everybody's getting a portion and the goodwill that comes from the taxation of these corporations. Now, my issue with everything thereof is that the fact that we're in a liberal society which is supposed to help the people, which isn't helping nobody but those people in office, like those House of Representative people, like Nancy Pelosi getting stock tips in advance and the rest of those congressmen are getting money in advance by buying stock. It was an article about it in the Washington Post. You read mine? God damn it, read that one. Read it. Her husband bought stock in a corporation that went sky high when Microsoft bought stock in Microsoft because they're doing the goggles that for the military. Why don't you read those articles? What? You picky? Hold on. The question is, why you got to pick on the black man first?
Now, let's go directly to the man himself, Joe Biden, and what he said about the freedom of the unvaccinated. The first, then we're gonna just play the clip about him commenting on the gas prices.
He took us back to OPEC.
Just a second, so we can listen to what he's saying.
The two things that concern me, one are those who just try to make this a political issue. Freedom. I have the freedom to kill you with my COVID. No, I mean, come on, freedom.
I mean, come on, freedom. Freedom is an optional, of course, for Joe Biden.
Come
Regarding
on, man.
instead the actual gas prices, that was another answer which, of course, left everybody a little bit puzzled because basically it doesn't have a solution.
Anyway, so but I must tell you, I don't have a near-term answer. There's two things I could do. I could go on the petroleum reserve and take out and probably reduce the price of gas maybe 18 cents or so a gallon. It's still going to be above $3. And one of the things that I refused to have happen because I didn't want anybody, I made a commitment, if you pass the stuff I'm talking about, not one single penny in tax would go against anybody making less than 400 grand. And so if you notice, these highway bills are not paid for by gas tax. They're paid for by direct expenditures in other areas. So the average person doesn't have to pay more. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. There's a possibility to be able to bring it down. Depends on a little bit on Saudi Arabia and a few other things that are.
It's complete rubbish. Depends from Saudi Arabia. I mean,
why are we talking about Saudi Arabia? That's the problem. Why don't we have it right here? We have it in the old US of A. California's got $8 gas right now. And you gonna tell me, well, we got to make sure that Saudi Arabia's taken care of. We gotta help them.
No, this whole thing, Dr. Paul Cottrell, about wanting to dialogue with the OPEC countries. When Trump had left us an independent, a nation that was energetically independent when he left. I mean, it's like a big change with us having to beg instead here, no?
Can I get 14 cents off?
To put on the economist hat, it's all about supply and demand. And demand is somewhat inelastic, meaning it's somewhat fixed. We need energy. And most of our energy comes from fossil fuels. Most of a barrel of oil goes towards gasoline. The far majority of America drives gasoline engines. It's going to be like that for a while. That's why demand is inelastic. So what the Biden administration has done is that they basically force the hand of the oil companies to stop drilling, stop pumping oil. Mm-hmm. And they're starting to sell assets. In other words, what they're doing is that they're shifting, the oil companies are shifting the supply curve to less, while the demand is inelastic. Prices are going up, and they are going to go up because of the law of supply and demand. And it doesn't give a damn about what the president thinks, because it's Adam Smith, baby. That's what the law is, And so the thing is, buy oil. Oil is going up, and it's going up for a while because they've demonized energy. They are going to stop exploration. Mm-hmm. They are going to start selling assets, and
you're going to encourage nuclear, and they're going to encourage nuclear, and they're going to
right. Yeah, but the thing is that it shifts. The thing is it takes a while to shift the portfolio for your energy for your country. We're going to we're going to $4 a gallon in many areas of the country.
Well, we are already at $4 a gallon.
Leo, not everybody is like California and New York. I'm talking about middle America.
Yeah.
And when you hit middle America at Ford, because back in around 2004, I think it was around 2004, maybe 2006.
Oh yeah, I
we
remember.
were pushing to $4, and that was in less inflation. $4 now is actually cheaper gas than $4 back in 2005, 2004. All right, so count your lucky stars, because we're benefiting from some of the fracking exploration that took place during the Trump administration. So the thing is, the bottom line is this: they can't jawbone the actual movement of oil, because of the demonization that's been taking place. And at the very high level, they are shifting the supply curve, and you are going to start seeing higher prices, because we can't shift our demand.
The whole of America, though, is getting pissed off. This is another rap.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd. Let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to kind of hang back on the prices.
Well, there's...
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like the whole of America soon is going to be shouting it.
Well, the thing is that you start hitting middle America with very high gas prices. It's going to hurt the farmers.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to hurt, the suburban individual that has to, travel 20, 30 miles to work. And that's just one way.
Well, hold on. I got one person that's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt. You're going to start. America in general is going to start voting out the Democrats.
Well, I got one for you.
I'll tell you.
I got one for you, though. You know who's really going to hurt? The drug dealers. Yeah, black man. Got to be a drug dealer, too, right? It's going to hurt the drug dealers. Most of them people out there are buying their weed, buying their drugs out there. The drug dealers got to get in that car and drive. That's going to boost the price of the drugs out there, and it's also going to boost the price. Look, am I telling a lie?
Well, one thing
inflation will be across the board.
Inflation everywhere.
No. I would like to point out that where the drugs like marijuana, cannabis are legal, actually the sale of
nobody wants that weak shit.
Marijuana is actually grown in the last few months here in California, since the taxes that Governor Newsom puts on these shops that make very little profit and have to sell the product to prices that are exceeding, of course, the people's expectations, and people, of course, go to the black market. They go illegal. So they legalize marijuana, that everybody can find a marijuana shop at each corner here in California.
Or the weed truck in New York.
People then go and buy it in the street, because the cost is much less, and so there is, of course, these idiots have not really understood yet how it works. But I wanted to now play something, because we're heading towards the end of the show, and I don't have much time, but I would like to play something that Dr. Paul Cottrell will be fascinated with the listening, because it is the president of Moderna speaking, and what he says is kind of interesting, especially because he is talking about a sort of universal shield vaccine moved by artificial intelligence to anticipate any possible variant, virus in the future, whatever. I think that Dr. Cottrell will be probably very interested in listening to this kind of thing. Do you want to have a listen to it?
Yeah, definitely.
Because, like I said, it is, of course, we have talked in the past about the fact that they want to make vaccination mandatory and all that when it comes down to COVID. But here we're talking about something even more creepy that is going on behind the scenes. And it's the head of Moderna who is actually admitting that we shouldn't wait for the next pandemic. We should actually anticipate the pandemics of the future by creating this shield. And so this shield is something that we didn't really know much about, but we can imagine it's regarding, of course, the creation of a universal vaccine. Let's go and listen to what this president of Moderna had to say.
There's a version of this where if you assume that this virus is not somehow once in 100 years, but once every 5 years, once every 10 years, then we can no longer simply wait for it to come and then respond and create the kind of destruction it's created. We can, I believe, work towards creating a shield that protects us from many different versions of every virus we know to be a threat in a preemptive way, in a preventative way. So what that means is that you use technologies, including machine learning and artificial intelligence, you use biological technologies, not to make mRNA for a virus that's already infecting us, but to make the mRNA for 100 different things that could infect us that we've already seen in previously, and every version of that could be mutating so that it's a threat. So the idea is a shield is a broader protection than a specific vaccine for a specific threat. And so we need to work on that, we think, in COVID. So for example, we're seeing Delta variants and Alpha, all these variants, you could think of it as a family and protect against all of the family. Then in influenza, every year we have seasonal, we're not protecting against one strain, we're protecting a many. So you take that one. Then you look at RSV, you look at other threats. So then you start saying, okay, can I together form a shield? Think of it like, again, in the military context, a missile shield, right? It has to be able to handle many kinds of missiles, and it has to give you protection. This idea is absolutely technologically possible, in my view. It will take time, it will take resolve. And of course, the big challenge is the regulatory system, which in a pandemic basically works very, very hard. But in a non-pandemic, everybody's, whoa, we don't want to take any risks. Well, shields have to assume that there's a pandemic. Shields cannot be built if you feel you're safe. You have to feel the threat, and you have to assume the threat's there in order to build a shield.
Un po' più veloce.
So that was an Italian interview. Sorry.
Leo, this is a very important concept here that he's bringing up, and it needs me to go into depth. So I'm gonna go quickly because we don't have that much time, but I'm gonna do a series of videos just on that topic. Okay. But here, there are a few issues here. So it's important that I get my thoughts out here to the audience. One is that he's already signaling that the establishment, the order, knows that it's going to have more variants. We talked about V12, that this thing's going to mutate to a point where that our immune system is going to get weakened from the boosters, and we're going to have less of a response. Okay, so there's that issue. There's the issue that there was no virus in human history, all right, that has created a pandemic and then lasted, and it's always perpetual. It's never happened, all right? Staying perpetual as a pandemic. It's gone into endemic phase. So history would suggest we don't need a shield unless you have something that was designed to do this, which falls right into the bioweapon that I was stating, that it's dealing with multiple receptors and that there's going to be a pinballing that takes place. There's going to be a weakening of one receptor and a strengthening of another. And it's going to go back and forth. And because of that capability, you have never-ending variants. With that said, what he is saying is that Barrick's technology is very similar to what Dr. Shi did also in her lab, is that you can create mutations randomly and select out of the cells the ones that are the most virulent, and then try to create a vaccine against that variant, okay? So they do a bunch of more gain of function experiments. He's talking about gain of function. He's talking about shield, but what he's really saying is that this is a two-pronged system. What's going on here is one's AI and one is actually just biology, okay? Right. This is the point that you're at right now, okay? And it's going to have a two-track design system. You're going to have an AI that's going to look at the genomics and figure from previous variants which ones have a higher potential when it changes the amino acid to change the surface. So when it'll plug in a new amino acid at a certain point and compute the three-dimensional structure. All right, it'll calculate the 3D and then do the prediction to see if we would escape the antibodies. Okay, because of the power of computers, this can be easily done. Trillions of times. Okay, so that's the prediction. It's putting in a new amino acid, creating a new three-dimensional structure to see if it is evading the actual antibodies. Okay, the other is that you take that information, okay, and that's going to feed into this capability, in a cell, in a dish, a petri dish, okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to modify the genome of that virus. There's cells in here, okay. You modify the virus based on the prediction from the AI. So it has the new genome, and you infect the cells, and then you see how well it is actually binding to that particular receptor. The big receptor for us is the ACE2 receptor, okay? And then from there, then you start going, okay, well, the current vaccines that we have, does it neutralize it or not? And so it's verifying the AI. This, once they say, oh, a certain vaccine cocktail or whatever will neutralize this modified genome that was predicted by the AI, then they would say, okay, that vaccine we issue to the public and then have that as that booster, that annual booster. This is what he's saying is very, very doable, extremely doable. But here's the problem. Here is the problem. When you have habitual boostering, you're going to weaken our innate, our immune system.
Yeah.
And so I'm totally against habitual boostering. All right, independent of if you're co-vaccine or anti-vaccine, habitual boosting is terrible.
But I think that their intention is not the perpetual booster, but something even more sophisticated in line.
Well, I think it's this, Leo. We have a bioweapons program. All right, it's covert, but it's going to go overt soon. Mm-hmm. All right, so the bio program at the DoD, all right, they have a series of different viruses. Okay, I call them cocktails. All right, they can pick and choose what they want to drop. Well, your society, your country, all right, your country has to be inoculated for the viruses that they may potentially drop. That means that you have to have an inoculation system, a program that's very similar to what they're doing in the military during basic training,
right,
and throughout their service. If you talk to a service person, either past or present, there's similar things going on at the societal level now for just the standard citizen, where you're going to start seeing these constant jabs in us that's very similar to basic training. That's what's going on. They're trying to inoculate our population and make sure that we have the antidote, even though it's not perfect.
Well, I mean,
even though that there's going to be adverse side effects, but they're inoculating our population, so when they do drop it in the battlefield, that when it comes back, in a year or 6 months, that we have less of a reaction to the weapons drop. On top of it, you have the escalation of biologics between the Chinese now and the United States.
I mean, the Chinese are claiming
so we have to inoculate
on bacteriological warfare as their main tool. So this is
they have stated in their white papers that they want to shoot. They can shoot certain particles in the actual bullet. Shoot in certain particles, and those particles will get embedded in tissue and then do precision genomic modification. All right, it's a little sci-fi, but it's very similar to what Reagan was talking about was Star Wars. When he said Star Wars to the Russians, we weren't in full, we didn't have full capability. We have full capability now, all right? And that's where the CCP's at. It's a little bit more rhetoric, a little bit more sci-fi than actual prime time, but they will get there. They will get there, no doubt about it. And this is my worry. When we overt biologics, it's going to be an escalation between the Chinese and the United States, just like in nuclear, the nuclear escalation. But the thing is that there's something with the human psyche that it's preventing us from total destruction by hitting the button for nuclear exchange. When it comes to biologics, you don't have that same visceral inhibition. You go, well, I have a vaccine. Most of my population, 80% of my population will be okay for most of their life. So I'm going to drop it. It'll position. And the thing is they can weaken us just enough or scare us just enough. They can move in and take over those island chains by 2025. So biological warfare and the external enlargement that's taking place in the Pacific chains with China, they're linked. They're linked. I've been saying this from day one in 2020. The war in the Pacific is about the island chains, and one of the tools that they're going to use is biologics. And you're starting to see the escalation. You're starting to see in the news on a daily basis. All you're hearing about is all of a sudden they have all these vaccines for all these diseases.
China's People Liberation Army seems to believe that biological weapons, not nuclear weapons, are the key to global military dominance. So we'll definitely touch on this subject also in the future. In his 2008 book, Biological Outlook on War and Foresight on Biotechnology Supremacy, Colonel Guo elaborated on the application of biotechnology in bio-based war, representing the so-called third leap in military strategy for China. I think that it's important to understand that. And so thank you very much, Paul, for having clarified certain points. And thank you, Darrell, for your testimony on the events, the events of the 6th of January 2021 that unfortunately
there's a lot more to it.
Was a trap that didn't lead us to a better place. Our society became even further divided, and the censorship became even more increased. But people like you who became protagonists of this event and now are under attack, you really gave us a very important testimony today. I want to invite, of course, all the people who are following us to help us out. You can, of course, make your donation. Go on my website, leozagami.com. Go on the website of Dr. Paul Cottrell. Go on the Global Enlightenment Radio Network website of Darrell, who with his horns, his Viking horns, is definitely your most unusual black man in America, but definitely also one of the most original, and I very much liked what you have said today. I wish we had more time. We are reaching the end of today's episode, so please go on our website, purchase my book, especially volume 4 in this case, and of course there's also volume 6.66 today. By the way, there is a conference on transhumanism right in the Vatican taking place today. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Darrell. Thank you. And God bless America, and protect Darrell also in 100 days for his
USA.
This important flag that is showing, that is, of course, a memory, but a cherished memory of that day, that in any way was meant to provoke a reaction, but was also meant to show that the Americans are really on the side of President Trump. Unfortunately, is no longer a president, and unfortunately people have to understand that either we reclaim in 2022 part of this democracy, and of course in 2024 with the next presidential election, or either we will never have probably a future if that doesn't happen. So God bless you all, and take care, guys. All the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.